that he became a worshiper, not standing before a church, but he became a worshiper and a man with a heart after God. When he had that relationship with God, he became the praise and worship leader that he is because of the purity in his relationship with God. Keep your relationship with God open and pure. And when your relationship with God is open and pure, guess what? He's going to correct us sometimes. He's going to chasten us sometimes. Sometimes we're going to do something and he's going to say, no, no, no. If you want to be pure, come on back here. If you're going to be pure, don't steer toward jealousy. Don't steer toward envy. If our eyes start to wander, and that was David's downfall, the lust of the eyes led the man with God, that was made after God's own heart, into a place where he got contaminated. The enemy wants to contaminate your purity. You ought to write that down. The enemy can't destroy your purity, but he can contaminate it. The enemy cannot destroy your relationship with God, but he can try to get things in there that will contaminate it. This is good stuff. And many times we don't even see the contamination, because sometimes it's brought to us by people that we like. Sometimes we listen to teaching. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Beware. Beware of those who come just to tickle your ears and say things that are popular. Purity is about being right, not about being popular. We say, oh, if I go to the big church and there must be a move of God taking. Listen, holiness isn't about joining the crowd. Holiness is about coming out and being separate. Holiness is about believing the truth even when the truth is not popular. The crowds aren't going to lead you to purity. You'll find purity where David found purity with just his relationship with God, where there's no interference that causes contamination. There's so many ways the enemy wants to contaminate. Jealousy, lust, envy, greed. Man, greed can take a pure heart that wants to give. Man, I remember when I first got saved, I didn't have nothing, but I gave more than what I had. I remember giving when I didn't even have it to give. And then as God begins to bless, sometimes the enemy says, oh, you need to make sure that you keep some for yourself. I know I'm not the only one that the enemy has said, pull back a little bit. Anybody else going to be real with the real preacher today? And I've seen good people go bad because all of a sudden those dollar signs get in their eyes. All of a sudden they look at this mansion of a house that they could be living in. If they just didn't give so much to God. How many of you ever had family members that thought, why are you giving so much to the church? Why are you giving so much to God? You could have this. And you know what? That may come from people that you love, but it is a contamination. And we must identify those things that want to contaminate the pure heart that God has given you. Listen, I know this isn't a shout, whoo, hallelujah inspiration, but sometimes it's the Lord bringing us back to a place of faithfulness to guard that purity.